see what he means about the performance mode. Oh, good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to Fairface Fail Productions. I am out here today doing a little comparison slash review on the Beta 500. This is a 2020 500S. Ooh, and she has got grunt for days. Although I will say, like, the low end doesn't feel terribly different than my 390. But boy, when you get on the throttle, she is angry. So this is my first time on it today. I'd say, like, my initial thoughts are they definitely got the suspension dampening for the rear shock much better. The front feels a little bit more planted too. And it also definitely feels more plush. But not undersprung. So that's a great feel. Beta definitely tries to update their stuff, and I appreciate that. I definitely feel that the weight feels almost identical to my 390, maybe a little bit more. You can feel the engine mass. Definitely feel that engine mass spinning. Very similar to the 19. Oh, there we go. I have no idea what gear I'm in. That's second. Oh, and this is This Mountain Life, or oh man, I feel bad. I can't remember his YouTube channel. That rear feels familiar. Yeah, the suspension feels a little bit very similar. It's just the front part of the stroke. You can definitely feel they did some work on the valving. Anyways, I greatly appreciate that Lance put on the nicer seat. This definitely is kinder to my butt. As he's stuck on my terrible stock seat. Oh God. The engine braking feels a little bit more uniform. Definitely. On the 19s, the engine braking kind of feels like it's sometimes braking, sometimes not. Definitely feel the weight on those whoops. Handles it well though. God, I love these bikes so much. The one thing I love about the 500 is this power band is just everywhere.
This thing is really light feeling.
Yeah.
That's centrifugal force. You can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah, that was probably one of my first comments is like, yeah, the 500, you just feel it. Like it's not that the bike is much heavier, it's just you feel it.
Yeah, it's 2 pounds heavier than the 390 in the same model year.
Yeah.
To lift it up off the ground. This one's easier to do this kind of riding with than that one, I think.
Oh, I had a blast. It's got power all over the place.
It's got more power than I'd ever know what to do with.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, we'll continue on so he doesn't have to kill it. So much like the other 500s I've ridden from the 19 year, down low, the 500 just has a little bit of that power jerkiness to where regulating the throttle is sometimes nice and sometimes explosive. If I were to compare the 19 390 to the 2021 500, it would be like the lean buff guy that's like a good lifter but not a good runner, and then it's like a freaking power lifter who's also somehow an Olympic runner. Like that is like what the 500 is. You missed a little bit of that lower gearing. I know the final drive is different on the 500s. I missed the lower. Get that low end. That low end grunt is what this bike loves. Also, Lance, huge thanks for letting me ride your $13,000 bike. Like, that's a lot. You know, you watch my channel, and this guy let me ride his bike. That's saying something. I mean, I just broke the stator case on my own beta, so your faith in me is outstanding. But I definitely appreciate it, because people like him mean I can bring content to the rest of the people like you. I think I'm going to finish my review on the DR350. I think that's pretty fitting. Go to an old clapped out dual sport from the 90s. Finish my thoughts out. Yeah, throwing it around, the 500 is definitely not nearly as nimble as my 390. That was almost disastrous. I really kicked the rear wheel out. Alright, now riding around, it's about, I think, 90, 93, 94 outside. The beta's sitting right at 220 degrees. Fan is on. You can feel it. The 390's gear ratio is definitely lower. I think that helps. I think the 500, I would want a few extra teeth on the rear sprocket. I feel like I'm missing a gear almost. This seat though, I give this seat like 5 out of 5 compared to the beta stock seat. 100%. Need to buy one of those. Like, I can get on the bike still. That was one of my things I was worried about buying one of these seats, because I wasn't sure if I could still get on the bike. I cannot believe. So, and the other thing about this bike, like, this I like, knowing how many times I've hit the front of mine, I would have already destroyed my Voyager having with this mount. Like, I don't like how they do this. They need to find something better, I think. I think the way they used to do it was better. It's amazing how on paper a bike can weigh a certain number, and then in real life when you ride it, it's totally different. Or the feel is totally different, I guess. Because on paper, I actually think this is about the same exact weight, or maybe even a little less than my 390 from 19. And it does not feel lighter. It's just throwing it around, leaning it. It definitely takes more core effort from my midsection to give inputs. No, it's not bad. It's definitely not heavy, but yeah, you feel it. The feel of a bike is such an important thing, and this thing is a monster. Like, it just eggs. Like, this thing is wanting to push, and I'm wanting to not die. All right. Now, we're not here to talk about the DR350, of course. I am here to talk about the betas, in which, you know, I may jump on the beta or use some fancy footage or something. Oh yeah, this is the fun part. Ah, yeah. But, you know, I wanted to get on the DR to talk about these bikes because, you know, objectivity is kind of always the thing where, you know, both, it sounds snobbish, right? Where you're nitpicking little things about, you know, $12,000 bikes, whatever they cost these days. And I feel like, yeah, we getting on this and riding it. You know, it's still every bit as fun, you know? Like, yes, the 500 is monstrously more powerful than the 350, like, orders of magnitude. But that being said, like, on these trails, like, even like this, which are just ATV trails, like, you can't even use the 500's power. So, I don't know. I don't want to say that it's, a waste of money to buy the 500 because it's absolutely not, because like I've said in the past, like, bikes are personal preference all the way, and I'm not going to down on it because it is a great bike. Now if they were pieces of crap and they leaked oil and, you know, they're always broke, whatever, right, then might have something different to say, but they don't. Beta has a pretty proven track record at this point. Oh, I gotta get there. It's just too hot. I'm just gonna be blinking dust. That's what I'm doing. So if you ask what I think about between both of these bikes, it's that it really comes down to personal preference. Like, there are some updates that Beta did to the chassis, dual fuel injection, some little things like that. But overall, not a lot of big changes. And the biggest difference between both of those Betas is definitely the engine size and the gearing. Actually, the gearing's a surprising one. The final drive ratio on the 390 is just lower. So naturally, with the 13.2 sprocket from the factory, you've got lower gearing, which is going to be nicer for tighter trails and such. So my favorite things about the new 2021 Beta is the monstrous amount of power, really. Like, it's addictive and it's fun, and then, like, if you're spending 12 grand, that fun factor is awesome. It really, oh god, like, I gotta say that, like, a little slow for my tall geared self. It's fine. Like, and that fun factor could be it for a lot of people. It's got top end, it's got low end, it's got everything. Now, I think that is awesome. Like, next good thing was the bike is sexy. Like, they really just made that whole bike look beautiful. Like, they improved on the looks, they made it look good. It's a sexy bike. Like, you just can't go wrong. Like, exhaust sounds about the same, because it probably is, and sounds fantastic. But the exhaust on the Betas is always my favorite. It's always going to be in there. So the other thing about the 500 is that it's even though it's got gobs of power, its low-powered mode really offers you know, a smoother throttle. It's just like it's smoother and less aggressive throttle. I think it probably backs off the timing of the engine maybe a little bit. I don't know. Hard to say offhand, but I can tell that it, God, it feels so approachable in that mode, and that's great that Beta has that, because for somebody who's new and wants to get a big 500, because maybe they want to do moto adventuring, whatever, right? And that makes the bike real approachable, real fun, even though it's a big engine size and you won't you know, kill yourself off-road with its monstrous amount of power. So the 390, without a doubt, God, it feels so much lighter, and I know it's not, like, but the bike feels smaller and lighter, and you really feel it. Like, I talked about that a lot. I won't hit it too much, but I definitely love the feel, and I also feel that you don't, on the trails like this, you don't get much more for the 500 as for terms of performance. You just don't. The 390 offers all the power that you need on trails, you know, for, I don't know, I'm gonna say normal riders. I don't know. I can't judge your riding abilities, but like for people like us, like it offers all the power that you need, and the 500 leaves a lot more there that if you ever want to use it, it's just there. That's cool. Not upset about it, but I also feel like the 390 is just the perfect amount of power, like lots of it, but not kill yourself, and enough to get the front wheel up, and the rotational mass that you feel is just less. It's a lot less. So the 390, you know, it also, I still think with the lower final drive gear, and it just has I think it has a better, smoother low end. I'm not saying that it has more low end power. I'm saying that the low end is smoother. I think I stand by that. Like that could be down to the sprocket sizes too, so take it with a grain of salt. But on the standard gearing with the 13.2s up front, yeah, the 390 has definitely got smoother low end grunt. And if you're looking at either, and you know, you've never been on one, and you're trying to get an idea of which bike you really want, the best way to probably look at it is to look at your riding style. So yeah, when you look at your riding styles, just kind of think about, you know, I like to ride real fast, or maybe I got real wide open areas to ride fast, and I want the extra power. I don't do single track, but not to say that the 500 can't do single track, because it can, absolutely can, but a little bit more of a beast to manage. And then after you look at kind of those things as to what kind of rider you are and what's your skill level, you kind of look at, all right, 390 or 500, which one do I want more?